So where are we heading here? Joining me now exclusively, Senator Lindsey Graham, a South Carolina Republican who serves on both the Senate Judiciary and Armed Services Committee. Senator, thank you very much.
What a beautiful view.
Isn't it a great place to be? Thanks for being up here on the roof with us tonight. Interesting. You know, what did we, when you look at, let's put up Mike Pompeo's tweet here today, the new Secretary of State. He says to the Iranian people, do you want your country to be known as a co-conspirator with Hezbollah, Hamas, Taliban, and Al-Qaeda? The United States says you deserve better. Where's this going?
I love what they're doing. We've had 8 years of weak foreign policy. John Kerry and Barack Obama would have crawled through glass to get a deal with the Iranians. It's a terrible deal. After 10 years, all the restrictions on the enrichment program goes away. I'm glad we withdrew. But here's what you need to ask the Europeans. Why are you standing with the Ayatollah? The Arabs and the Israelis are with us. I think the Iranian people want to be with us. When they went out to the streets, they got shot down like dogs. What makes you think the Ayatollah wouldn't kill your kids if he'd kill his own kids?
And what do you think is going to happen with the European allies? Because clearly the State Department is discussing this with them and wants them to come around with a new deal.
They're going to fold like a cheap suit. If you got to pick between the American economy and the Iranian economy, you're going to pick the American economy. There's nothing worse than a bunch of whiny Europeans when it comes to dealing with rogue nations like Iran. Again, the Europeans and the Obama administration put Iran on a pathway to a bomb. Donald Trump has given them a different choice. You can have a better life, but you're going to have to change the life you're leading. You have to stop destroying the Mideast, building missiles with death to Israel on top of it. Trump's been dealt a tough hand with North Korea and Iran, and I like the way he's playing the hand. To our European allies, stand up for your values. What do you have in common with the Ayatollah?
Are we encouraging revolt on the part of the Iranian people?
Well, they've done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, regime.
And we didn't back them up.
No, Obama.
So I'm wondering what we're going to do this time.
Remember when the young lady had a sign in the street, are you with us, are you with them, President Obama? He clearly didn't want to jeopardize his negotiations with the Iranian regime. Look what they've got you. They've got you a stronger Iran, dismembering the Mideast. They've got more capability to wreak havoc on Israel than they did before the deal.
Is this North Korean summit going to happen on June 12th?
Well, in the last 30 days, Trump has done two very bold things. He said, I will sit down personally with Kim Jong-un to find a way to avoid a war with North Korea. I'm going to get out a bad deal with Iran to see if I can get a better deal. He is doing the things that I would hope he would do as president. If the North Koreans stiff him, if they sit down and meet with him and try to play him, they're going to regret it. If they don't meet June 12th, that's probably the end of diplomacy. Plan B would be military operations to stop the threat that North Korea presents to us and the world. And I hope we don't go down that road, but Trump will have no other choice. If the summit is canceled and North Korea doesn't want to work with us in good faith to make it a win-win, then we're going to have a conflict between Donald Trump and Kim Jong-un, and Trump will win.
What do you think about the reports that, you know, the president became enamored of this idea that maybe he would get the Nobel Peace Prize, and
I started that, by the way.
That made him want. That's right. That made him want this deal enough that he was willing to sort of make it happen no matter what. And now the stories are that he doesn't want to be embarrassed there, and he's looking potentially for a way to not do it.
I talked to him 3 days ago. And here's what he told me. He says, I'm going to end this one way or the other. I don't want a war with North Korea. It'd be devastating for the region, but they would lose it, not us. A lot of people would get hurt. There's a better way. I'm going to sit down with this guy and try to find a win-win. I'm going to tell China, you know, I need your help to avoid a conflict with North Korea. Up your game. So at the end of the day, does Donald Trump have the resolve to be different than every other president? Does he really mean it when he says he wants a better deal with the Iranians and he's not going to give in until he gets one? Does he really mean that he would stop North Korea from getting a nuclear weapon that could hit America and use military force if he had to? Here's what I think. I think he really means it. And if you misjudge or miscalculate, it'd be the biggest mistake North Korea ever made. I don't want a war, but if a war is going to happen, it's going to be in their backyard, not ours.
You've been around this town a long time. You ran for president.
Yeah, I finished in the top 16.
I remember. What do you think about this FBI situation and whether or not they had an informant who was talking to people in the Trump campaign?
It comes from a third world novel, something that, you know, sort of small countries do. I want to find out what was that all about? You can't have one administration spying on another. Maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, but the Department of Justice and the FBI gave Clinton a pass. If you had done what she had done, you'd be in jail right now. So I've seen bias at the Department of Justice and the FBI regarding the Clinton email investigation. I've seen bias against President Trump at the FBI and the Department of Justice. I've seen them use documents from a paid political informant, foreign agent working with the Russians paid by the Democrats to get a warrant on an American citizen. That all bothers me, so I hope somebody will look at it. Maybe Mr. Horowitz is the right guy, but I think we need a special counsel.
A second special counsel?
Yeah, because, this just really stinks to high heaven. I'm all for Mueller doing his job, but there's not one Democrat seems to care one bit about the fact that all this has happened. Can you imagine the shoe on the other foot? Somebody was investigating Trump, and the head of the FBI investigating team hated Trump and liked Clinton. It'd be on the front page of every. What if the Republican Party had hired somebody to go to Russia to get dirt on Clinton? It'd be all over the front page of every newspaper.
Lindsey Graham, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Senator.
Thank you.